Come, let us prepare, make some good profits today. Now, market lifters, big clues. Nothing new here, isn't it? Now, I told you, watch out for the buying continuation. You see that happening exactly right there. So this comes as absolutely no surprise. Now, after this video, please watch the video from yesterday. Very importantly, watch it after. The links are in the description. You have to watch that because in yesterday's video, I talked about this very important thing here. And that is how our downside is being limited with that pink. I talked about how this strong blue buyer started appearing. I talked about how the 5-day moving average was just soaking up sellers right there and clearing the way for this to break up. And I told you to watch out for buying continuation structure. Now watch yesterday's video after this one. It will make more sense to you. But before that, I wanted to show you the intraday algorithms. The very important algorithm here that determined this buying continuation structure. And that's in the end of day summary here. Members, please review today's trade setups here. And the most important thing was this understanding that there is a teal that is guiding, and you see the teal and the magenta there. So if you want to be looking for more downsides, you have to wait for magenta to break and teal to break. You don't see that happening, isn't it? And so I told you, look out for that inverse head and shoulder. The IHS is always best, 10-12. So at 10-12, which was right here, this was 10-12 a.m. I told you watch out for the IHS 10-12 here, and you see the teal. Once you can see the teal transitioning into the pink, and you see the pink penny perfect here, isn't it? I'll zoom it in for you later, but you see how penny perfect this is, especially off that 5-day moving average right there. Absolutely beautiful trade there. Now, if you cannot wait for the IHS, you can wait for this cup close, isn't it? Look, the cup started closing and we retraced back into that 5-day moving average right there. See for yourself. Absolutely beautiful. There was a nested structure here as well with the pink algorithm. It's penny perfect right there. Absolutely beautiful. And all these only because you understood the teal and the pink algorithm, and so you knew when not to short this and when how to be looking out and preparing for a setup here. Now, very importantly, understanding when not to short this is also in the 30-minute chart here, which I will cover it later. But watch yesterday's video. I told you to watch out for buying continuation in this green and orange right there. Right, so please watch that. You have a better understanding of how to be chaining up plays from one day to another, understanding the thought process, understanding the context, and understanding that trading days are not isolated. You have to chain them up together. You have to understand the thought process that leads you to developing this trading brain. You need this trading brain in order to be trading. Now, let's take a look at the pink algorithm there, and you can see how penny perfect this is, isn't it? Just take a look once we had that retracement there. Absolutely penny perfect, right? Even this, when there was this small little structure there, you could have taken a trade as well. And more importantly, how it started rebuilding more liquidity. Take a look. Absolutely penny perfect. I'm giving you that beautiful. This is a beautiful inverse head and shoulder pattern with the 5-day providing you with such defined stop loss target right there. And then once we started breaking out, just see for yourself. If you had runners, this would be absolutely beautiful, just nurturing them in that orange algorithm that we already identified in the first 10 minutes of the day. Absolutely beautiful right there. Imagine maintaining your runners all the way there. Now, I just want to show you the possibilities of that risk to rewards, even though you were taking something with that 5-day moving average as your stop loss right there. Even with 5-day as your stop loss, which is quite substantial. Usually I do not allow such substantial stop loss right there. But if you took a look all the way up to the orange algorithm there, look at that. 13x. And with a very substantial stop loss to the 5-day moving average right there. All because you understood how to be using the algorithms to guide your trade. Absolutely Absolutely beautiful trade right there. Now, where do we go from here? Well, it's very important you watch yesterday's video later so you can understand the context from this. So we are in the buying continuation right now, isn't it? I need you to see where the buying continuation came from. Now, the first one was obviously understanding this engulfing candle here, right? Once we broke out of that range, we broke out like that, and you see how there was this green algorithm I told you to worry about, and see the early rejection of that green, building more liquidity, continuing that continuation there, right? You see that. So even with this red candle, it doesn't phase you. In fact, you saw that coming because you knew about this green algorithm and you wanted to see it build more liquidity on the way up right there. And thereafter, you see how with that same green algorithm, the market was building liquidity again. The next straight candle you see in the 30-minute chart was a retracement back to the 30-minute candle before pushing back up in that green algorithm again. Absolutely beautiful trade. So this is known as a buying continuation. You have to first look out for buying continuation tomorrow. If it continues buying, this is a grind up, right? You have to be looking out for that orange if it continues to stay in that orange as well. I will show you where to be looking to short this, but you have to be looking out for buying continuation tomorrow. Now, if it starts to build more liquidity, that's not a bad thing as well. Let the market build more liquidity if it wants to continue heading up stronger. That will give you more entry for better trades right there. So look out for that, especially if 5-day continues to trend up, building liquidity on the way up there. But otherwise, I want you to see this orange here. This is very important because if there is any downside, it will come from here first. That will be where the 5-day moving average will start retesting the range. Let me show you on the 1-minute chart here. This will be where the liquidity that was building here. Now, this is important because there is bearish liquidity here. There is bearish liquidity. The very reason we squeezed up was to margin call all these people who started shorting there and obviously below, right? So pay close attention to this level because this is where it dumps. If the 5-day starts trending within this magenta here and we grab enough liquidity to head down, this is where, very importantly, pay close attention to this level. Yeah, so about the 715 level here, this is very important. Any sell, it has to come from here. This is where it will. So pay close attention. Now, there is quite an easy way up here. So I want you to look out for possibilities down only if there's tapering, right? So pay close attention to tapering as well. I will show you that. Just be a little bit more mindful. Look out for that orange algorithm here. So this orange is quite important, right? If there's any downside, remember, as I told you, this is quite important right there. So in between there and here, this range here, you look out for possible zombie trades, right? You want to be more careful on trades in this small range here. Now, there's a larger range. Remember, I told you about liquidity from yesterday. So the 2 now, look out for this. Yeah, if this wants to dump early. And the secondary one will be where this blue algorithm is. Right, that may take some time, maybe next week, which is off this range right here. You would have seen that we broken out of that orange. You would have seen the blue algorithm like that, forming that dual algorithm, and you would see that 5-day will start trending down if this wants to head down. So pay very close attention to that, and most importantly, watch yesterday's video. That will link you to the video prior to this. And as you chain up the plays, you will remember what I talked about. The 20-day moving average. I talked about the bottom Bollingers. So these are all very important indicators. You have to pay close attention and how a dump may happen. You have to look out for certain conditions. So that video is probably 2 or 3 videos from today. But watch yesterday's video leading you to the day before. Link up the plays, chain up your thoughts. You will have a better understanding of how we got to where we are today now. So thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow, please trade safe. Well, partially because with every grind up here, right, the liquidity building may take some time before we retest major liquidity levels. So just be wise to just set alerts and wait for the market to get to where you want to prepare it for instead of forcing trades, especially on a Friday. So please wrap up the week strong, right? Do not take unnecessary risks. You can leave your risk taking to next week. If unfinished business for the week, leave it to next week. Do not use Friday to overcompensate for what you have not achieved for the week. Right? Wrap it up strong. have a good weekend ahead. Right, so please promise me, Discord members as well, please study and review. Yes, very important. Study and review, it's a lifetime skill. You don't have to worry about missing out because the market's open every day. And if you have the skill, you can do this every day, as I've shown you with the video every day. Just show up, study, review, practice. So thank you very much for watching. See you closer to opening bell.